Hey everybody, it's Jeremy French, Interior Low Plateau's Eco-Region Coordinator for the Southeastern Grasslands Initiative, and I'm here today on a site that I'm really excited to tell you about. We're actually working to acquire this site through SGI's Prairie Acquisition Fund. And I wanted to show you a little bit around the site and tell you why this site is so important to me, as well as so important ecologically. So where we are is we're in the Pennyroyal Plain, and I'm actually on a depressional wet prairie community site. Now, this site's actually, we believe, to be one of one. So historically, we would have had these depressional wetland prairies all across the Pennyroyal Plain. But we've lost all of them, except this one. So let's take a look at the site and talk a little bit of why these places are so important to conserve and what this site has that makes it really special. So one of the coolest plants that occurs here on site, at least that I think is the coolest, is actually Asclepius puritella. Now this is a pretty rare milkweed. It's also known as tall green milkweed. And it's a really interesting milkweed. Let me show it to you. So here we have Asclepius puritella. It's actually putting off seeds right now. It's got these really interesting seed pods, a little different than most other milkweeds, and it's got these skinny long leaves all the way up the stem here. And you'll see that, you know, in the spring and summer we'll have these really cool green florets or flowers, and it's really cool. And one of the coolest things is I only ever seen this plant at this site, although it's known from other sites, but it's in the matrix here. There are thousands of these plants. All these little white dots you see on the horizon are actually Asclepius puritella plants putting off seed. Now, why does that matter? I actually find a ton of Monarch caterpillars here on site, and I've seen 12 flying around today. So it's super cool. Let's see what other flowers we can find blooming today. Here we have Helianthus angustifolia, or narrow-leaf sunflower, blooming right next to blue mistflower. Aren't they just stunning? You can see on these narrow leaf how they get their name. They have real narrow leaves. And then these blue mist flowers, they kind of grow low and they look like mist. Here we have some gorgeous Missouri ironweed, which is actually the rarer of the ironweeds for this ecoregion. Check these out. These are meadow beauties, and God, they are just stunning, aren't they? You got a few more over here. This is actually a plant without a flower. So one of the most unique things about this site, other than it's a prairie remnant, which we already know these remnants are the 1% we have left, is the depressional wetland community. So if we look behind me, you'll see that there's a slight depression here. And this whole area behind me is dominated by sedges and grasses and rushes. We actually have over 25 species of sedges right there. Now you'll see, here's our depression, and this will actually seasonally fill up with water, and it's really, really unique. It's just covered in diversity. Now, all of our depressional wetlands have been converted to crops or developed, but this one you see on site, we have this depressional wetland. We actually have a couple others. These areas are full of biodiversity, full of great stuff. And it's really important that we protect these rare grasslands, these small percentage of what we have left, not only for the fauna, but the floral communities on these sites. How cool is this site? I'm so excited to be able to be here.